Chapter 4: Calming the Rage in Your Heart. Anger. It is universally recognized as a negative form of aggression. People frown upon those whose emotions lead them to anger, hatred, violence. And it's true. Rage has led people to committing unspeakable acts of violence towards others, possessions, even to their own life. I've learned, having growing up with severe anger issues stemming from a number of things that I bottled up for the majority of my life, that rage inside of you is the ultimate enemy. The big bad villain the hero must face alone to become what he or she was meant to be. Anger and rage fuel hatred and jealousy. The wrong decision while being consumed with anger and rage can change your life for the worse in a split second. A single moment of blind rage out of anger while hating something or someone could be the defining moment in your life negatively. However, it can also be used as a positive. There is positivity in everything in life if you understand how to see it that way. There's positive energy in everything around you. In every situation, in every encounter, all you have to do is stay disciplined and focused in those moments, and the positive things in those moments, no matter how dire and uncontrollable they become, will shine like a star in the night sky. It takes an incredibly focused person, full of discipline, to be able to see the positives in everything. To channel all of the emotions associated with anger and hatred, and use them to your advantage, it is an extremely useful skill to master, but it takes time. I have found in my journey to become the best version of myself, that my anger, which I once was unable to control, jealousy and hatred for others, all were coming from a perspective of failure, and the fear of failure. I wanted things to work out for me easily, without putting forth the effort to go out and get what I desired for myself. I made excuses, justified my anger and hatred for others, wanted them to suffer emotionally as I did. Over time, as I decided to work on myself completely to become the best version of myself possible, I realized the first thing I had to figure out was my anger, and my dark emotions that made me make bad decisions. Only then I knew I had a chance to complete my journey as the best version of myself. Anger, if focused, channeled and utilized in a positive way, can be one of the greatest motivational skills you can possess. All of the built-up rage, anger, and hatred can be pushed outwards as a form of energy that can motivate you to achieve things you never thought possible. It will aid you to fight against past failures, disappointments, and life-changing losses. Being angry is a human trait, not a human flaw. Every person alive has experienced all of the extreme ranges of anger, from mild frustration to loathing, oftentimes multiple times a day. There are those who allow their anger to be shifted into a negative lane, and those who shift it into positive lanes. A snowball effect begins whenever a negative person allows their anger to consume them to the point when they begin to exhibit inappropriate behavior, lashing out to others, blaming others for your personal failures, and launching these individuals towards making potentially bad life-changing decisions. These people, the negative lane shifters, for lack of a better way to describe them, are now caught in a web of anger. It begins to build and build and build, until suddenly they look themselves in the mirror, and hate what they see in the reflection. Positive lane shifters go the opposite direction. They see their moments of frustration as only a temporary obstacle that can be dealt with in a rational manner, thus avoiding the escalation to anger and beyond, essentially avoiding the snowball effect altogether. How is this possible? The answer is simple, yet difficult all the same. The ability to take control of your own life is essential to taking control of your emotions, and ultimately taking control of your anger, rage, and hatred. Simply identifying the root cause of the anger is only the beginning. There's a journey that only starts at that point. One has to accept the challenge of the journey. Trekking into your darkest fears is like a nightmare, and you must recognize that, despite the darkness and rage, you will wake up with the sun shining. It's up to you to not shade off the sunshine. The journey is mentally challenging yourself to change, accept who you are, and to determine just how much you actually are willing to fight through the journey to becoming the best version of yourself. To so many people, fear is the root of anger and hatred. The fear of the unknown is powerful, and not knowing what you will become in the future can obviously be a very scary concept to overcome mentally and emotionally. It's the fear of not believing you are in control of your life, that change is not probable, and more disappointments are coming, the never-ending cycle of doubt starts to build inside, and the only way your mind and heart knows how to battle these emotions is by lashing out. There's nothing wrong with lashing out, if it's channeled properly. I, for one, lash out when I'm angry by doing physical activity, a long walk, a boxing workout session, running on a treadmill. Anything to distract my mind from the frustrations and anger, while working on my body at the same time. That's my form of therapy, but everyone is different. Every person, if they are committed to improving themselves, have a something that will distract them from frustrations and anger, and hatred. It's up to each individual to find that for themselves, and it's necessary through mediation and thought to do so your own, for no one knows you better than you know yourself. Your life is what you make of it. You can choose to trek life through happiness, joy, and fulfillment, or out of anger, resentment, and jealousy. That choice is up to each individual to figure out for themselves as well. If you choose a life of happiness, it is going to be a hard road that will feel worth it, and earned if it's done through love, respect, and gratitude for everything and everyone around you. A road of unhappiness, controlled by anger and rage, is far easier to obtain and sustain in the long run, but ultimately will lead you into a place of darkness, emptiness, and loneliness. Obtaining and sustaining happiness is extremely difficult, but if you are able to achieve it, you'll know deep inside your heart that it is something you will fight for to keep in your life for as long as possible, no matter what the stakes. That fight to keep that happiness will propel you to do things unimaginable even in your wildest dreams, and push you to do things you never thought you'd be able to do in the midst of all the odds that have been stacked against you. Hatred, rage, aggressiveness, jealousy, and all the other dark factors that can hinder one's life and disrupt happiness will occur on the journey to sustaining a fulfilled life of joy. It's in those moments the real challenge begins, and the journey becomes much more difficult to navigate. That doesn't mean that's an excuse for you to stray off of the path of happiness and joy. That's the challenge that is going to make the joy and happiness feel earned, so you must face these challenges head-on, and never back down, or the darkness will seep into your life, fulfilling something that is totally against what you believe you were destined for. Going through life unhappy is a very depressing and daunting thought to ponder. It is a powerful force that will drag you down further into darkness if you allow it, but if you figure out and master the ways for yourself of how to become happy, and what it would take to be happy in a sustained fashion, then it's up to you to figure that out, accept the challenge, break the barriers of anger, control your anger, and become the best version of yourself. It takes a motivated person with the right mindset, and the right people around him or her to be able to completely embrace all the concepts in this chapter. To be angry is to be human. If someone ever tells you they've never been angry, never done anything out of anger, or has never done anything remotely bad in their entire lives, they're either lying to you, or they're not human. Anger will often lead you to mistakes, and mistakes are sometimes the best way for us to learn things about ourselves, and to correct those things so we can become the best versions of ourselves. Without mistakes, and learning from our mistakes and emotions, we are not human, and could never become the best versions of ourselves. It's only when you let those bad emotions, and dark depths of anger and hatred control your life, your actions, and your decisions, that will lead you to the path of being a person no one wants to be around due to your negativity and hatred. In my experience, having now fully rid myself of allowing anger and hatred control me, I've noticed that much more positive things have entered my life, much more positive people have been in my life, and overall, I am much happier as an individual when I'm in control of my actions and they're not in control of me. It is within each human to be able to find their path towards happiness. That path may be hidden, but I know you and those who love and care you can help you find it. Believe in yourself, believe in your heart, and believe in those around you who support you, and you will always be a champion of your own life. Evolve.